somebody who's changed things, is changing things, and will change things from a big microphone in Lexington at 630 WLAP is our next speaker. Please give a big Central Kentucky welcome to Leland Conway.
Out here, isn't it? Yeah! You know, it's 20. Yeah, it's 20 degrees cooler in Lexington. It's all that hot air in this building right here. I can feel my money melting. How many? Who can tell me the last time the University of Kentucky won the national championship in basketball? 98. Yes, 1998. How many of you get tired of telling Duke fans about it? Nobody does, right? That's right. We've got some victories to talk about ourselves, and I say this every time we get together, and by God, I'm going to do it again today. We have to remember what brought us to this point. We are successful. There may be 150 of us today, but there are thousands and thousands of us across the country. We have victory already achieved. So let's do the timeline. On February 8th, Chuck Schumer said Americans don't care about pork. On February 15th, y'all sent 1,500 bags of pork rinds to Chuck Schumer's office. On March 21st, 1,200 of us gathered at the Fayette County Courthouse for the first Kentucky Tea Party. On April 15th, 700 more at Phoenix Spark. 500,000 people all across this country gathered together in this movement that has only just begun. And yesterday I brought 16,000 tea bags to the governor and delivered them to his office. That is your voice. That is your voice saying what? Leave us alone. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. I got a few comments. I've already found my favorite sign. I mean, I love all these signs out here, but I got to point to this one. Hear this. You know, years ago, a Second Amendment case came before an old Kentucky judge. In many states, there is a self-defense law that will say that the person who is being attacked has a quote-unquote duty to retreat. When this idea was brought before the old Kentucky judge, he said, and I quote, "A Kentuckian knows no duty to retreat. It's not in his nature." Today, we gather peacefully in the defense of our economic liberties, but the old judge's statement is still apropos to our cause. We will no longer retreat from our government's desire to spend our money wastefully. I thought about these VLTs they're talking about up here, and you know, the radio industry's in a little bit of trouble. Could we maybe put some slot machines in the lobby of our radio industry? You know, the Herald Leader subscriptions are down and their advertising slow. Could we maybe put some slot machines in the lobby of the Herald Leader? No! Folks, the government needs to get out of the business of picking winners and losers. We are the winners. We will decide our destiny. They need to get out of our way. While our government becomes more and more intrusive, we Kentuckians, as I said before, know no duty to retreat. While they are doing this behind these walls, they're doing things to guarantee their own future elections, their own future employment. But we're here today to send a simple message to them, that their employment is dependent on the completion of a very simple assignment: defend and protect the Constitution of Kentuckians. So they must know this. If they do not complete that assignment to our satisfaction, they need to know their further employment will be terminated. We're here today to tell the men and women who roam these halls that the power that they hold is not a product of their own brilliance, but it's a loan, a temporary loan from us. We give them this power so that we can go about our daily lives, building our dreams, achieving our goals. When they corrupt that and their power intrudes on our ability to do so, we must take it back. So we're here today at the very vestibule of political power to tell our state leaders, stop wasting our money. You know, the idea of freedom is not just a vaguely worded historical concept that we're supposed to study in school or to be discussed by philosophers and pundits. It's much more than that. Freedom is the very soul of our nation, and it's why we exist. It's who we are. Government should have no involvement in the vast majority of our enterprises. When it entangles itself too much in our economic affairs, it disrupts our civil society and it obstructs our individual pursuit of happiness. For too long, our government, both state and federal, has failed in its number one purpose to protect the smallest minority, the individual. Instead, they have robbed from a few to fund and protect special interest groups, thereby decreasing our economic freedoms. What is freedom if we can't keep what we earn? What is freedom if we have not the ability to achieve our dreams? Our founding fathers understood this very well when they threw off the bonds of tyranny and taxation without representation. Someone in this audience tell me, are you tired of hearing politicians justify increased taxation for Kentuckians because it's for the children? I want them to stop spending my money for my children. Someone in this audience tell me why the economic needs and wants of smokers and drinkers are of less importance to our legislators than the rest of the taxpayers. It seems that society has decided that smoking is an unacceptable habit, and apparently the smoker is merely a dispensable voter to be used as nothing more than a revenue-raising device. The precedent that set this confiscatory taxation of smokers, though, paves the way to similar taxation on many other behaviors. How is it okay to single out this behavior or that to raise money to increase government intervention? It's not. It's shameful. When it is acceptable to raise taxes on smoking and drinking, how long before it's acceptable to raise taxes on Twinkies and donuts? And don't let these guys fool you, these Republicans who came up here to the state Senate and the State House and told you, yeah, we voted no on the cigarette tax and the alcohol tax, but we just froze the gasoline tax. The Constitution of Kentucky said, I get my nickel back when the price goes down. To you, Mr. Legislator, it might just be a nickel, but to me, it's my nickel. And I'd rather it go to a gas station owner or a private business owner so they can give a raise to one of their hard-working employees than to a legislator so they can buy more votes with my money. I want my nickel back.